What's up guys, YGO Strats here with a Fluffal profile. Finally getting around to this one. I've been playing this deck since it was very first revealed in the new challengers. I was playing a janky rank up Magic the 7th one Utopic Dragon build. It was quite awful. I only played it online. It was not worth the investment in real life. But the deck has evolved past that now, and so I'm playing this build here that I will show you now. We're running 3 of Fluffal Dog. Dog searches when summoned from the hand, normal or special from the hand. That's pretty key because of things like Toy Vendor in this deck, but basically he searches a Fluffal or an Edge Imp on summon, and he's a 17 beater. He's level 4, which means rank 4 plays are technically possible with him, but you won't be doing it often. We're playing triple Fluffal Bear. Discard to search Toy Vendor or tribute it to grab a Polymerization from the grave and add it to your hand. Mainly used to grab Toy Vendor. I'm running 3 just to turbo into Toy Vendor as fast as I can. Toy Vendor will be used and abused by Fluffal Wings, and so getting more than one never really hurts other than in your opening hand. We're playing triple Fluffal Mouse. Fantastic card to use with Toy Vendor, but terrible card to open 2 or more of. When it's on the field, you can summon up to 2 from your deck. Opening 2 sucks, obviously. Opening 3, you can pretty much go right into scoop phase. But opening 1, summon it, bring up 2 more, and you've got 3 names for your Frightfur Fusions. Very good. Playing double Sheep. When you control another Fluffal, you can special it, bounce it to the hand, bounce another Fluffal Mouse to your hand, and then special summon an Edge Imp from your hand or graveyard. Mainly used to grab things back from the graveyard. The Edge Imps, which are all required for any of the Frightfur Fusions. Playing double Fluffal Wings. Fantastic card at 2. You don't run 3, it's too cloggy. Don't run 1, it's not enough. 2 is the optimal number here, and I'm not the only person that will tell you that if you look up other builds. Basically what you can do is you can banish it in your graveyard, discard 1 card, pop a Toy Vendor. You'll draw 2 cards overall. You'll search off Toy Vendor with discarding 1. So you'll go a nice +2. Very essential. It's Fluffal, so it's usable in the Frightfur Fusions to get it into the graveyard, or you can discard it with Toy Vendor. There's just a lot of ways to get it into the graveyard, and it's a fantastic card. I'm playing 1 Fluffal Owl and 1 Rabbit. Owl can summon a Polymerization on summon, or pay 500 life points to be a Polymerization, and Rabbit will grab a Fluffal monster from the graveyard when it's sent to the graveyard as a fusion material. There are times where I wish Fluffal was Rabbit was the second Owl, but there are times where I'm very glad he's not. So it's up to you whether or not you want to run no Rabbit or 2 Owl or whatever. Most builds I think tend to favor 2 Owl, but I'm liking Rabbit at 1. For our Edge Imps, I'm playing triple Chain. When Chain declares an attack, he can search another copy of Chain from the deck, but more importantly, when he's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Frightfur Fusion from your deck to your hand. And technically speaking, you can add a Frightfur spell or trap, but the main one I'm playing here until we get further support is Frightfur Fusion. That I will go over in a bit. Playing 2 Imp Sabres, when it's in the graveyard, you can put 1 card on top of your deck to special summon it. This is good for 2 reasons. 1, because it gets itself on the field to be reused as a Polymerization target, or a fusion target in general. The second is you can put a card on top of your deck to use a Toy Vendor's effect, which I will go over in just a moment. And then finally, I'm playing triple King of the Swamp. Pitch to search a Polymerization, and he can take the name of any fusion as long as it isn't a Fluffal. He has to take the name of a named card. So the Frightfurs all list an Edge Imp, either Saw Chain or Sabres, and any number of Fluffals. He can't take the name of a Fluffal, but he can take the name of the Edge Imps. He can replace them. And then mainly used just for searching Polymerizations. For the spell count, we're running triple Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is very important. You can discard a card, draw 1, reveal it. If it's a Fluffal, special summon it. If not, send it to the graveyard. Like I said with Edge Imp Sabres, put a Fluffal on top of your deck and you guaranteed yourself that. And then when it's sent from the field to the grave, you can add 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. So when you destroy it with Fluffal Wings, like I said, you'll search 1 off of it plus the 2 draws from that. Very nice. The only Frightfur spell trap I'm running in my build, I'm running triple Frightfur Fusion. It's Miracle Fusion for Frightfurs. I don't need to go into it. Use things on the field of the graveyard and banish them. Can be costly in the late game depending, but can also seal the OTK. Triple Polymerization. It's a fusion deck. We run 3 King of the Swamp. Let's run 3 Poly. All that really needs to be said about that, actually. Make your fusions. Running 2 Dark Hole. I may want to go Regeki Dark Hole. I'm just playing 2 Dark Hole because my Regekis are in other decks, to be perfectly honest. I'm playing 2 Instant Fusion because he makes it great. Norden for a rank 4 very rarely, but more importantly, you can bring out Sheep and go into some shenanigans with that. For my build, I'm playing 1 Twin Twister and 1 Book of Moon. This is for me, for the decks that I face. Book of Moon puts in a bit of work. I'm facing a lot of, a wide variety of decks. I do have a PK Fire where I duel, I do have a Cosmo where I duel, but I do have a Heraldic, and I do have, you know, a Blackwing and stuff. Book of Moon's very disruptive. Back row isn't too crazy where I am. There's only 2 strikes that I face, if you can believe that, but in the general meta, 2 Twin Twisters, because you will not be facing only 2 strikes. And if that's the case, don't play Book of Moon. Book of Moon targets, it's not very optimal this format. This is purely because I cater it to my locals, which is something you always want to think about in deck building, not necessarily what's good for the meta, what's good for where you're going. Trap lineup, 1 Bottomless, 1 Warning. Very simple. Power traps for this format, nothing needs to be said there. Playing 2 Frightfur Wolf in my fusion lineup. He can attack up to the number of materials used to fusion summon him. His requirements are an Imp Sabre and 1 or more Fluffal. So he can attack twice, he can attack 8 times. You decide, based on how much you commit into his fusion summon. We're also playing triple Tiger. Tiger's fantastic. 1 Imp Sabre or 1 or more Fluffal. You can only control 1, all Frightfurs will gain 300 attack, and when he's summoned, you can target a number of cards up to the number of fusion materials used to make him and destroy them. So if you summon him with 3 monsters, he'll pop 3 cards. This does count the Imp that was used for him, so he's minimum 2, potentially 6, who knows, depends on where you're summoning from, Frightfur Fusion and all that. Playing 2 Frightfur Sheep. Fantastic Armades card, great against Cosmo. If you have Tiger or Saber-Tooth on board, he'll be more than 3,000 with his own effect. If he's destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can bring it back and he'll gain 800 attack, so it'll be 28, then plus 300 from Sheep, he's 31, he can get over Dark Destroyer, and he's Armades, so they can't float. Playing 2 Frightfur Saber-Tooth, absolute beast of a card. His requirements are 1 Frightfur Fusion and 1 or more Fluffal and or Edge Imp monsters. If you fuse him using 3 monsters, so 2 Fluffal or 1 Edge Imp, 1 Fluffal, and the Frightfur, he is indestructible by battle or card effect. When he's summoned, he can summon a Frightfur Fusion monster from the graveyard, and he gives all Frightfurs 400 attack. So if you summon him with Sheep, you can bring back that same Sheep. That Sheep will be 2,400. Then if you use it, crash the Sheep into something, that Sheep will come back 3,200. He's indestructible by battle or card effect. If you use 3 to summon him, that's very common. My favorite play is Instant Fusion into Sheep. Then if you have Poly, an Edge Imp, and a Fluffal, this is a big commitment, I admit. Not a common thing to do, but possible and very deadly. You can Instant Fusion, then Poly him, bring back the Sheep. You've got 24, like I said, and it's a great opening turn. Playing 1 Frightfur Leo might take him out. I like him in for now. He's Leo, or he's Volcasaurus. He can't attack directly, but he can still attack if you use his effect. You target, pop, and inflict damage. Playing 1 Frightfur Bear, just a Frightfur name. When he destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you're going to equip it, and it gains 1,000. Shit, he gains Pendulum, but Pendulum's now shit again. Hey, hey. 1 Elder Energy Norden, in case we've already used up the 2 Sheeps. And for that reason there, we play 1 Castel for spot removal, 1 Abyss Dweller, because graveyard effects are rampant. And I'm actually playing 1 Leviair. If you go into it with 2 bears, it's possible to bring back things that have been banished, like Fluffal Wings or whatever, and it's just technically possible, and I like to do that. So that is my Fluffal build. Go ahead, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, all the fun stuff that comes along with it. Obviously you can make this with Imp Sabres as well, if that wasn't clear. I think I only said bear, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time on YGO Strats.